right, let's dive in. Today, we're getting into one of the most, well, misunderstood signs out there, Vrishabha Rashi, the celestial bull. We're going to go way beyond the usual stereotypes to really understand its true and, honestly, much more fascinating nature.
So, let me just ask you, when you picture a bull, what's the very first thing that pops into your head? For a lot of us, it's that classic image of stubbornness, right? Or maybe a creature that's just angry all the time, ready to charge? But is that really the whole story?
Yeah, not even close. The bull is so much more complex than that. It's this amazing mix of deep, calm, and just incredible power. So today we're going to break down its true essence by exploring three core ideas: its role as an anchor of stability, its power as an unstoppable engine, and its soul as a deep sensualist.
Okay, let's start with the foundation. The first, and you could argue the most crucial piece of the puzzle for Vrishabha, is its role as the anchor of stability. Seriously, this is the bedrock that everything else is built on.
So what do we actually mean by stability? Well, think of it as a state of just calm consistency. The source material describes the bull as a grounded, slow-moving animal. And that translates perfectly into a personality that really resists sudden change. It's all about a preference for what's familiar, what's dependable, what's been proven to work.
And you can see this stability show up in a few key ways. For one, there's a very practical and earthy nature, It leads to grounded, realistic decisions. Then there's that territorial side, a really strong attachment to home, to routines. It's less about just owning stuff and more about creating a safe, predictable world. And all of that comes together in this incredible dependability and loyalty. Once they're in, they are all in. This one line from our source material just sums it up perfectly. It's a calm, composed temperament that's fueled by a really powerful desire for both material and emotional security. That, right there, is the anchor. Now let's move on to our second theme, and you'll see how this builds. That stability, it's not passive. It's actually the fuel for this unique kind of power, what we're calling the unstoppable engine.
See, the bull's power doesn't come from some quick burst of energy. It's all about building momentum. It starts with this deliberate, thoughtful pace. They are never, ever rushed. This lets them work methodically, steadily, for a long time. And here's the magic. Once that massive effort is in motion, it becomes an unstoppable force of perseverance. It will finish whatever it starts.
And this power isn't just one-dimensional. There's the solid physical constitution, which, makes sense. But just as important is the incredibly high mental resilience and just powerful willpower. It's this combination that lets them handle pressures that would honestly crush most others.
So, the key takeaway here is really important. We live in a world that's all about speed, right? But the bull's strength isn't about fast action. It is all about deep, enduring power. It's the marathon, not the sprint. And now, for our final theme. This is where we really get to the why behind the anchor and the engine. What is it that truly motivates the bull? Well, the answer is in its deep, rich inner world, the soul of a sensualist. When we say sensuality here, we're talking about a really profound connection to the physical world. It's an appreciation for beauty, for comfort, for pleasure, in all its forms. The source even notes how bulls enjoy grazing peacefully, and that translates into this very human desire for pleasant, harmonious surroundings. Let's make this more concrete, because it's not some abstract idea. It shows up as a real love for good food and beautiful smells. It's a natural pull towards music, art, and just aesthetic beauty. And it's a fundamental desire for material comfort, soft fabrics, a cozy home, a life that just feels good to the touch. What's so fascinating is how all these inner qualities are woven together. Their deep loyalty and devotion live right alongside this refined artistic sense. Their love for harmony isn't just about relationships, it's about their whole environment. And all of it is driven by a real need for comfort and security. It creates this complete, holistic inner world.
So, we've looked at the anchor, the engine, and the soul. Now let's bring all three of those pieces together and really synthesize the bull's true nature. This is where we see the central paradox of Vrisha. On the outside, you've got this calm, peaceful person who actively avoids arguments, who moves with a quiet, unassuming strength. But do not mistake that peace for weakness. Because under the surface, there's a fierce inner core, intense, powerful, and absolutely ready to react with a controlled but formidable anger if you push it too far.
So in the end, the true strength of the bull is this beautiful blend of all three themes. That unwavering stability combined with patient, enduring power. All of it motivated by a deep, sensual appreciation for the beauty and comfort of life itself.
And that leaves us with a final thought to chew on. In a world full of loud declarations and constant shows of force, maybe the quiet, stable, and deeply rooted power of the bull gives us a different perspective. Is it possible that the greatest strength is the one that doesn't even need to be announced? Something to think about. Thanks for joining us today.